boards I've ever installed because they don't require any fasteners. If you want to learn how I did it, along with how I built a pergola in just 2 days, keep on watching. Let's get started.
Let's see.
And he's
Transition. Oh,
he's confident. He's like, let me show you something. Oh, this is cool. What is this product?
Of course, every backyard is different. I hammer in a few stakes based upon where I want the arrangement to be, and then run a string line all the way across, which makes it really easy to line up with my wood retaining wall.
I mean, he has knee pads. It just makes me think he does this for a living.
As for removing grass, I do suggest grabbing a border edger tool.
And those boots look like they've been used.
right. Sometimes you can watch these
And
DIY
the shovel
videos,
looks like it's been used.
and it'll be like, for beginners.
Underneath it,
Get dried concrete on the shovel. Telltale sign of a guy that's been doing some work.
Yeah.
soil does add up significantly, which is what I realized when I installed turf
Sometimes
in my
the
front
super
yard. That was a
easy
lot
may not
of
be
wood.
super
And
easy.
removing all that
Yeah, hey, look, shoveling off.
you're trying to shake out as much dirt
Shoveling
and
off
debris
2
as
inches
possible.
of
Shaking
dirt.
out all the dirt into my wheelbarrow and maneuvering that into
Of course,
another
when it's
section
sped
of
up,
yard.
it probably looks like, oh, yeah, I can do that.
That's
No
right.
worries.
This was over the course of like 4 hours.
Easy.
3 hours.
Yeah, it'll take me 15 minutes.
Maybe he knocked about in an hour or
Because if
two.
our ground isn't level, our deck certainly isn't going to be after that.
True.
Taking a
Yeah.
straight 2x4 and my level, I'm quickly able to determine where level really is on this entire yard, but also able to maneuver our soil.
This dog
around
just wants to be
as
a part of the
needed. If
action.
There's high spots.
I'm curious as to why
fill those up.
this instead of, I guess if you don't want it to eyeball the ground, but I would have just rather just got a bunch of pressure treated lumber and framed it up real fast.
Right.
I'm doing things correctly.
Because again, yeah, there's certain things you don't need
The time that he
permits
dug,
for.
yeah, by the time he dug all that out, man, I make it framed up a floor super fast, and
After I've completely leveled out all of our soil, if it's a hot day,
Right.
I do suggest grabbing a hose and watering down your soil first before compacting. It does
Ugh.
become quite difficult to compact soil properly if it's too dry because it just becomes dusty
Yep.
and harder to compact.
that's true.
This isn't a very large area, so I just grabbed my hand tamper and started
The
taking
good old hard slope.
a larger area. I do suggest grabbing or renting.
But you got to work with what you got.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody has a 5,000-pound tanding plate. So,
soil properly. I go over this soil 4 times with our hand tamper.
4 times. This looks like a second day here.
Yeah, I was about to say, these DIY videos can be very deceptive.
Yeah.
You're like,
Diligence up front will definitely play
11 at night, you're about to go to bed, you're like, I can do that.
It looks like that 6x6
prior to
post there is
installing our
rotted
Insta
out
deck
where you just
tile,
tuck that
I strongly
plastic.
suggest installing a weed barrier.
I just put the new deck right in front. We could remove some floorboards and tear that old rotted wood out
It's
later.
a woven weed fabric, which means it's very durable, but it also allows moisture to get through easily. All you have to
Okay.
do when applying this is just take a couple landscaping nails and nail down
Yep.
each corner, then remove any of the excess with a utility.
Yeah, this is a lot.
I overlap each sheet approximately 2 to 4
But-
inches, just making sure that there's no possible
No
chance
fasteners.
of any
No
weed or
fasteners.
vegetation
I mean-
to grow through. In order to guarantee that this also doesn't move on us over
Worth
time,
all this
I re-secure a few more nails into any of the seams as well as the perimeter every 3 to 4 feet. I go to numerous trade shows every single year to try and find new innovative products to showcase on the channel.
Nice.
There's very few that really make me
Good
stop
choice
in
in
my
my
tracks.
trap, by the way.
This system, though, is more. This is from Direct Outdoor Living, and this is their Duralife Insta Deck outdoor floor system.
Super
The
cool.
amazing thing about this system is that you don't need any fasteners to get it installed. All you need is a few stakes and clip this entire system together with ease. So let's
Nice.
test it out and see how fast the system really
Interesting.
is to install.
All right.
So I
see how
suppose you
it
could
goes.
probably just put it right on top of the grass too, but he really wanted to make sure he had a nice flat surface.
It's so fast to install is because
Just
there's
nice.
really only
idea.
a couple clips you have to install on each side. No
not sold
fastener
on it,
needed.
though.
And the only thing I do
Yeah.
just having on hand is a hand clamp, which just makes it a little bit.
I feel like I would rather just get a bunch of 2x8s.
In the middle of each
Break
tile,
out
there's a
my
couple
circular
tabs that
saw,
actually align each tile perfectly
air
with
compressor,
each
nail
other.
gun,
And then on the
kit to
edges of
cut
each
and have
panel,
it framed
there's a
up
more
in
substantial
literally
flanking
1 hour.
mechanism to install
Literally 1 hour
those
would have been put there. I mean,
locations.
this,
All the items that really
like if we had to
hold the
did
entire
this,
structure together,
if I did this by myself, like with wood, I mean, I guess I'd spend time at Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever picking up the material.
Yeah.
But
after the other,
back my truck right up in the backyard, or even if I only had to carry it, 30 feet, like
that means you have to install the second piece.
I'd have this thing framed up and decked and
difficult to do.
Right.
less than 4 hours.
Because I want to be
The whole,
transparent.
Yeah.
and
With
note
the
that I did
DIY
install it this
things,
way,
some
but
of
the
it you gotta,
second
like,
way of doing it
this
was
is even
much
worse.
easier than doing it this way.
Or we've reacted to
What I
people
guess
who
you
have built
suggest doing-
floating.
Yeah, I guess if I had to
like,
go, I guess if I had to go pick up materials,
I go about
come back and
laying
then
out all
build it,
6
and then
panels
clean up
in
and
the
put
right
everything
direction
away,
first,
clean up and be
and
done.
then start
You know,
creating
maybe by
them
myself
together,
it would
one
still
after the
be
other after the other. Once
almost
every
all-day
single
project.
panel is positioned correctly and aligned with each other,
I guess
I
if he
then
got it done in
maneuver
one day.
into the rest
Yeah.
of the panels. This way, this entire row is completely
This look
cohesively
way
installed,
over
and then just sliding it into position with the row adjacent to it.
Especially just
is
for a backyard.
extremely easy done and
DIY.
very straightforward. At this point in time,
I guess
wanna
this maybe
say
this
huge
appeals to
special
homeowners
thank
who
you to
like
the
don't
sponsor of this
have
video, Barrett Outdoor Living.
saws,
I
maybe,
really
but I
do
feel like
love the
once they start putting the deck boards on there, you gotta have a saw to cut.
Can you
through.
rent that stuff?
Yeah, you can rent.
By
Yeah.
Okay.
far one that I was so excited to showcase.
Look at his clamps. So clearly, this guy uses tools on a daily basis.
Yeah.
In their thinking, and this company was truly one that has not only thought about the end user and
Right.
customer, but also thought about how they can change the game.
almost wonder if this is like a ad.
If you wanna check out
I
their
feel like this is like one of those
decks,
gimmicky
but
kind of.
fences,
Yeah.
gates, railings, and plenty of other items, then I will make sure. and
Oh, we
leave
had to
a
scoot
link
it
in the
over.
description box below,
Yeah.
and you'll be able to find all the amazing.
And he's got a table, something,
Yeah.
deck project you're most likely
You
gonna
know
have
as well as I do.
is
You could have
a
made this
rectangular
thing out of
pattern
pressure treated lumber, been rocking and rolling,
This
it done.
project, I
Hey,
did
Steve,
want to
nice
actually
table
have a
saw.
Nice transition.
It's a great table
between
saw.
this
Wash
patio
makes good
and
stuff.
the adjacent concrete landing pad for my deck stairs. In order to accommodate
you
this,
just
I did
cut
need
it to
cut
size and-
pieces to the appropriate size and make sure that these panels
Definitely
are still
doesn't
able
seem
to
like
fit
a
into
let me have a
themselves
deck in a
Yeah,
day.
this seems like you probably spent a bunch of time reading
I was
like
able to accommodate it all the way
instructions on
down.
how this stuff works,
As
you
I
know,
made
before you
my
got
way
into
down
it.
to the final row of
But
paneling,
I wonder if it's
I
so that he can get it to
realized
flush
that
up
there
with
is
that
a
concrete
slight
there.
variance in the length
That's
and
smart.
width at this location.
Maybe at
One
the end
side
he's
is
gonna have this whole
10.5
thing nice
inches,
and like
the
one
other side
deck
is
board higher than the
1.5
concrete. So it's gonna have a really nice
Not a
finish
big
to it.
deal either way.
And that's
just
why.
you have to
And
accommodate
showing off
that
the product.
once you
What it
start
Yeah.
installing your decking.
I'm
I
not
snap
sure.
our final row of Insta deck tiles.
yeah, that's what it
together,
looks like.
And we can now move on to stakes. There are a number
Move on to
of
stakes? He said
to choose
stakes?
from,
Oh.
but the more substantial
Those.
ones are.
I got excited. I
because
thought I was
it's
gonna break out the
stiffen
ribeyes and the grill.
more than a smaller
Taking a
landscape
break.
nail. These ones are 8 inches long, and these are specifically designed for landscape purposes.
Yeah, I feel like that thing's also too like over time it's gonna be kind of like wonky. Because even though I mean I just kind of staked the heck out. So maybe with all those stakes, but 8 inches, and it looks like it's getting held up by like. Look at the bounce on it when he hits it.
Yeah.
It like it's not like that thing should be at least like 15 inches long to compress down any deeper. Like even when we're like
that layout perfectly where you
setting
want it,
lines
and
to
then
be able to
move on
like put a
any of
line
the
level on stuff for
stake
doing
locations.
patios and stuff like that. Like we're
Once you have the
using
entire
2
grid
foot
system
pieces of
completely
rebar
staked
just to get
out,
placed. Just to tie a string to it so it's not all wonky and wobbly.
Calls us out as the
Yeah, that looks a little
Life
bouncy.
Resort collection, and the color is
rather build it out of
color
wood and
brown,
then
if anyone is interested.
Put some 6x6s or 4x4s down into the ground to anchor everything to and hold that thing rock
I
solid.
didn't actually think I was gonna.
It would bother me if I had like a little outdoor place like this and it was all just kind of like,
Yeah.
it would drive me nuts.
Which is why I am going to have a seam at the walkway location.
Yeah.
But just know if I planned on doing
It's already
this small
bouncing like
section
crazy.
ahead of
It's almost
time,
like those
I could
spikes
have
aren't doing
easily
anything at
ordered
all.
a 16-footer
He drove them into the
seam
ground. They're probably just sitting there just.
Yeah.
all the boards that are right next to our walkway. I marked the length of the board.
And so the boards are designed to just snap.
away from where it's going to be.
Did he say those were Trex boards or did he even say what they were?
Into our Instadeck tiles.
Trex,
and
that's a
potentially
different
damage
scallop
the
on the back of that
structurability
board.
of our step clip fastening system. And this is the key element of why this deck is so
Bouncy.
quick to install, because
When it's all done, all the weight will hold it down tight.
Yeah.
built into the Instadeck
I built
tiles.
the
and these doors
Pergola,
are specifically
so-
designed to have a groove.
Yeah, I mean, I
built
feel
in
like these
so
type
it
of
can
products are
accommodate
gimmicky
the
products
step
geared
clip
towards
system.
like homeowners that just don't know much, and it's like they present it in a way that makes it look so simple. And I guess, you know, for somebody who's maybe afraid of using a saw, sure, but you can see he's still using a saw on a custom deck board, so.
It takes to install a deck with fasteners, because I just did it with over 1,000 fasteners for a simple 20-foot by 14.
Wait, say that again.
Wait,
I call BS. Say that again.
We're gonna go back.
Let me go back. What do you say?
Have a groove built in so it can accommodate this step clip system. By simply pushing down on it, stepping on it, or maybe just taking a large mallet to it, you are easily able to install each deck quickly and easily.
Can't see.
And I can personally attest to how long it takes to install a deck with fasteners, because I just did it with over 1,000 fasteners for a simple.
I mean, okay, 1,000 fasteners sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you're installing deck boards, like you're literally only putting, it's a hidden fastener that looks like a screw with like a T-clip on it. So you put the first deck board down with screws and you put that T-clip into it, and it acts as the one to receive the next one.
Okay.
It goes really fast. It's not, it doesn't take that long. And the screws are like only that long. So it's like.
Yeah.
Takes
I wonder
to
if he's
install a
getting
deck
paid
with
for
fasteners.
this.
I was
I
to say,
just did it
sometimes
with
you've got to
over
watch out for these
1,000
apps.
That's right.
They're
Yeah,
gonna
that's
make
right.
easy things sound like you don't ever want to
This
do
deck is
that.
That's right.
approximately 12
Well,
feet by 12 feet, and it
I
was a
wonder if he
breeze to
secretly
install.
works for this.
There were a couple areas where I just found it easier to install with
We're
a
gonna get
large
hate mail
mallet,
from him
but the vast majority
do this on my own, you
were
jerk.
easily installed with a simple stomp of the
Probably
foot,
look up what he
or by
does, what this
simply
company
standing
is.
on it
You
using
should.
my body
Probably
weight.
just
I'd also
run
like
my
to
mouth
note
about
that
one.
the board comes with a cool
Yeah.
track, which ensures superior heat and slip resistance, and it's also
Yeah, look
made
how
in the
wavy
USA
it
and
looks.
has a
Yeah.
25-year limited warranty. These are all things that I consider when taking on.
I mean, this is every
as
bit
well
as like
thinking about
complex.
as a
It's
general
just
homeowner
built
Yeah.
with straight lumber, which would be so much more rock solid.
Space. One item that I had to think about that hopefully
He's
you
like
guys don't
our
on
buddy
your
before,
project
Earl,
is
man. Just the
space
dry
between
concrete.
step
Dry
system
concrete.
It with
and the
water.
edge of
Yep.
my existing concrete. I do have to account for this because if I don't,
Wait, what?
then there's going to be a potential dip in our deck
Wow.
boards, and that's
Patio.
the last thing I want to think about when stepping onto our.
So is the
beautiful
deck board
patio.
not going to actually finish the
I filled
concrete?
this
That he's
area
going to
with
have like.
sand-based aggregate,
Good
and I can
compare.
move on to cutting and filling this last small section with decking. I measure out each individual piece because, as I noted earlier, there is a slight variance between one side and the other with our concrete step. But once I'm happy with our measurement, I then cut it with my circular saw in a speed square and move on with the installation as I installed all the other deck boards.
I love how
One thing
he's.
to keep note of is that the first
Is that
boards
a
I
rubber
cut on this
mallet?
entire
Looks like
deck
it started raining
were
on 'em.
short,
Yeah.
and that's because I wanted to
Oh,
share
what?
that step
Yeah.
clip fastening location, because if I didn't,
I'm curious.
then I wouldn't
Did
have
it look like he's using like a regular mallet? I wonder if that was like a steel mallet and he's just beating the deck boards in there with it. It looks like. Unless it's a rubber or
One thing
plastic.
to keep note of is that the first
That looks like a
boards
metal
I
one.
cut on this
Yeah.
entire
Who cares
deck
if there's dings?
were short, and that's because I
Bring
wanted
it
to
in there.
share that
Just
step
perfect.
clip
Don't
fastening
think.
They
location,
go in easy. You just
because
gotta
if I
smack them with a
didn't,
metal
then I wouldn't
mallet.
have
Yeah.
anything for these
And
boards
butt
to grab
joints.
onto. You have to account for that and think
Butt
about
joints.
that on your
Transitional
project if you
panicky.
do have a transitional period like this.
Well, you know, hey, yeah.
Any of the
when they're
boards that
not-
are
okay,
not
he's gonna chop
associated
line
with
and
our
cut it straight.
small
Thank you.
walkway,
The CD was getting ready to kick in, and I was getting ready to be like,
and
"That's
the easiest
trash."
way to account for it is to take a string
nice.
line, snap a line exactly where the edge of our
Little picture
boards
frame, maybe, as well.
meets the edge
And
of
look
our
at the
Insta
seam
deck
there, how they're
tiles,
kind of like-
then grab your trusty
Got a
circular
little
saw
cleanup right
and
there,
make a
and
pristine and steady
you get what
cut
you pay
all the
for.
way down.
Looks-
You do
yeah.
want to be extremely steady and accurate when doing this cut. So
Yes, please take your time.
when doing this, because you only get to do
And
this
if possible,
once,
get a
and you
track
do wanna
saw.
set up a guide
Oh.
on
Then make a
how to
perfectly
do
straight
that
cut.
if you feel more comfortable.
This dude's probably got a
So in
track
order
saw.
to
Look at it.
fully
I mean,
cut
he's
our
got a.
first and last piece,
He's
you
literally
have to
got.
take a
What is that
multi-tool
brand
and
of
just remove
multi-tool?
and
That
just
look like the
remove any of the excess
fine.
that I
Is it a
didn't
fine
cut with
multi-tool?
circular saw.
What do you have there?
Very
Got
easy and
tiles,
straightforward to
then
do
grab your
with a
trusty
multi-tool.
set up a
I mean, he's got great tools.
Yeah.
This is a trim plate.
Seems like
and
what
this is
kind
of
a
a track saw
doing.
end clip. Now the end clip is really nice because you place it right in between your deck boards, and the clip makes sure that
So now you have to have another part for the end.
Clip.
stays consistent for years to come. This, however,
Yeah, I don't feel like this is a system that is like, I think the average person would get this and they'd be reading it and they'd be like, huh, wait, what?
Yeah, your instruction book is like,
It's like the IKEA deck. Like, I wonder how many couples get divorced putting this together.
Get these installed, and then we're done with the deck.
What was the girl who did the floating deck?
What was it? Home with Steph?
Home with Stephanie. Follow her. Like,
Yes.
she did legit DIY stuff. I mean, that girl broke out saws and built it right.
Yeah.
Come on, this is gimmicky.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
As it grows
Oh,
in
so
naturally,
he made it
it's going to
too
have
long.
a perfect transition for years to come.
Wait, what?
And just put
With
the
the grass in, we are completely done with our decking. But Brett felt that this beautiful patio space needed a statement piece, and that's
Jump on
where
that thing.
the pergola
Oh,
system
man.
I bet the weight of this pergola he's
This
going to
entire
put up
system
might.
comes with an
might-
aluminum channel.
No, I
system.
was thinking maybe it might
also
help it.
powder-coated
Okay, yeah,
aluminum,
yeah.
but
Dude, it's all aluminum. It's
nice
probably
and
light, and it probably just
so
moves
easy
with
to
it.
install.
Mhm.
I personally was able to install this while
Is it just gonna
filming
sit
in
on
just a couple
top?
of hours.
This looks like something you would just buy at
Very
Home Depot.
DIY
That's a
friendly,
kit.
and the vast majority you can assemble by yourself. I first went about
I'm
installing
not a fan of those types of things. They're usually kind of cheapy. Like, they look cool in pictures and they
Yeah.
cool when you see them, but then like when you actually like put your hands on them, like longevity-wise, they're like 2 years from now they're just trash.
Especially things that are going to be sitting like outside. You know, they're going to be in the weather. They're going to be.
But we also have 3 mid beams that have to be connected in the same side. Alignment wasn't too difficult, but it just might take a moment to fit in nicely. There's only one type of fastener for this entire
what day do you
system,
think
and
we're
once
on?
that side's fully installed,
It feels like this is a. I don't know.
that goes
It does
on.
feel like it's
The
like this
paneling
didn't
is
happen in one day, but
it's
maybe it did.
Yeah.
extremely easy to install as well, because all we have to do for fastening purposes is use these cam locks, fit them into our mid beams,
Oh, no.
and then swivel the
looks like
top
rubber
portion
or
of the cam
plastic.
lock
It does.
in one
It
direction.
looks kind of.
That's it as
Yeah,
far
you
as
just, I
fastening
don't know, I
and
feel like you need
holding it
to
in place.
go in understanding, okay,
For added support, there
these things are going to be
center
on the
braces
elements.
that
Do I
go
want to
up this
replace it in a
location,
year?
which I
Yeah, it's like
did
Or
buying,
do
it's like
I
when
want-
you see like those really cheap patio sets at like
Yeah.
Walmart
Yeah.
that are just like, oh, this patio set for $150, and it's just like
the rest of our
you know,
decorative screens
Scared to like
on the
sit on
ceiling.
it.
grandma sits on it, the legs fall over, and it's like now grandma's dead. Like
I like this style the best, and these panels may not be metal.
God.
husband and wife friend. I told you to buy the better kit. You wanted to save money. No,
Yeah.
grandma died.
Yeah, this pergola is going to fall on you.
Oh, two people.
2 people.
2 people.
That dog is still there, though. What
You
a
gotta
boy.
wonder how long was that guy helping in the background? How many more people are back there?
Position the other 2 legs.
Turn the
down.
camera around, buddy.
This entire system is surprisingly light and very
Okay.
structurally
I mean, it was
sound.
easy, I
Just
will
make sure
say.
that
Yeah.
you're lifting properly with your legs. Once we have
I
the
mean,
final 2
affiliate
legs
marketing
fully
is
attached,
one
we
heck
can
of a
move
magic
this
show.
entire
Yeah.
And when I say light, we can literally lift
He probably
this
doesn't even
entire
do that. He's
thing
probably like, these
with
guys
two of us
suck.
Looks
while
light.
standing
Just making
on
fun.
ladders.
That's
The
Pretty
dog
impressive.
That looks cool, though.
Yeah.
One
Like, I like
option
the way it
that's sold
looks.
separately within the system
I like the
is
black.
decorative side
Yeah.
panels. Now you don't obviously
There's,
have to have these, but I felt that a side
decorators.
panel really provided a
They make a
nice
really
appearance
great decking product. Their boards, their rails, and they have all these really cool like
against my retaining wall.
lattice panels
And
that you
there's no real
can
need
buy
to
that are
have
actually
this
like
side
powder coated
completely
aluminum that
visible.
kind of have this look to them. They're really
Decorative
fancy
side
and
tooling
awesome.
comes with a
Nice.
few
Big fan of
different
their product.
channels. There's a U channel and there's 2 of those.
But that's
There's
what this
also
reminds me of.
a
Just
channel
a
as well as
decorative
2
panels, but those
center
just
H
look like
channels. We go about installing one of the U channels
cheap stuff.
facing
Yeah.
upward first, then slide our decorative panels right into the U channel.
Yeah, they look like
Once
how
we have 2
flummy.
panels in place, we can then insert our vertical
I wonder if they are
H channel that
aluminum.
connects the 2.
They look like
Then our
rubber.
horizontal
Oh.
H channel
Yeah.
goes right on top.
Maybe it's just
We
the.
screw in the H channel just as we did our U channel.
I really want to know what
Then
that
we
dude was doing
slide
during
our
this whole.
panels right on top of that. And finally,
Right.
fully
Like, don't you feel like he was
fasten
just
the entire system with a top
Like every
down
time is like,
channel.
you know, you see a kid, he's like, all right, Bob, like,
Side
I'm
panel fully installed.
43 and 3/8. He's the one
Yeah.
making all the cuts back there.
Hurry.
It looks cool though.
Yeah.
It's a good look.
I truly love how this entire backyard oasis turned out, from the pergola to the recessed deck board patio. It flows seamlessly from my deck steps.
Look
And
like
that's exactly
the
what I
band
wanted.
Oasis.
I actually fastened this pergola down to the deck.
I tell you what,
because we
though,
might
probably the one
maneuver
thing
it
that would also
one way or
drive me
the
nuts
other.
about this.
And no,
So
I'm
like you've
not
got
worried
like
about
that
blowing away,
that
because
whole deck
we don't
space,
live in hurricane country.
and you see how
Apparently
like
from
the
past
posts,
comments
like
and
in the back
past
corners
videos,
against the
other
wood
people
retaining
are
wall that
very
he's
worried
built there,
about
they're
things
all
like
like flush up
blowing
against
away.
it, and then you have that one out there in the middle.
Yeah.
Now you have like this whole area of unusable space.
What do you do?
Yeah, like
you really do much.
at that point, like he could have just made it smaller.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to put on the other side of that?
Right.
But no
A
matter
coffee
where
table.
we move it,
Who knows?
it's still
Yeah.
one truly
Probably end
beautiful,
up being nothing.
sexy
Yeah.
beast
I'm
of space.
super big on like when we do screen and porches, like we have conversations with the people about like if you're walking out of a screen and porch, what's the ideal place to locate the door that goes from the porch onto the deck or outside, so that you could be thinking about furniture placement and all that stuff, so that you're using the space to the best of its ability. This is the little kind of like details that drive me bonkers.
Because you have space that you can't utilize.
Yeah,
It's just there to be there. You put the
like
work
that
in.
pole, that pole literally like detracted like 2 to 3 feet of space
Right.
radius, right? Because like within 2 feet of it, like what are you going to do with 2 feet to the right, left, front, back? Like,
Yeah.
So
I love that about like our sales team. They'll like work with you to design the space.
Yeah.
So, like if you want their input, they're there to help you create a space that works well with your home.
Yeah.
To be another like he said, outdoor oasis.
yeah,
You know, it helps to have people who are well versed,
yeah.
know what's best for the design space. Because now you got some empty space that isn't super
Yeah.
functional.
So I feel like stuff like this is like, yeah, it'll dress your backyard up, and it kind of looks better than, I guess, a dirt patch.
Right.
Right. But
Yeah.
it also is kind of like a gimmicky product. Like it's not I wouldn't consider this a high quality product at all. I think like the most high quality part about this really is the deck boards.
Yeah.
And I would feel like they got wasted on this kind of system here. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say even like
And I don't hate it, but I don't love it.
DIY stuff out there. I mean, this is just in general, like there's so many ads out there nowadays.
Yeah.
You don't know if they're maybe being paid to promote something and it's actually like not good.
Let's see those 2-year follow-up videos. We want to see those 2-year follow-up videos.
I even think like check the descriptions of things. If it has hashtag ad or anything like that, you probably know, okay, let me take this with a grain of salt. Yeah.